Who got the swag? Forward a man, Mayor Madonna, Django the check.
What is good, y'all? This is JV here with an album review for you guys. Now, it's been a hot minute since I've done a review for you guys. Did a video, tallied up all the results, and you guys voted overwhelmingly to do a review of Kunst's new album, Muggles Mansion. Absolutely loved this project, so in this one, I was super hyped about it. Got a decent amount of insight for you guys. It's a longish kind of project, a little bit under an hour, 15 tracks. So for you guys who don't know the format of my reviews, they're fairly laid back, more of a discussion style, kind of just freeform thought. It's not meant to be super professional or anything like that, just giving my overall thoughts. At the beginning of the video, I give you guys my summary thoughts on what I thought of the project as a whole, and then I go track by track for you guys who really are interested in me getting into the nitty-gritty. But for y'all who just want the summary, I'm going to give that to you guys now. Overall, I thought it was a fantastic project. High Ground has amazing talent over there, and I had high expectations for this, especially considering like the Firewater single that was put out before then, and Parachute and stuff like that, working with Ohyuk and in G-Soul and Tableau. I had high expectations for this project, and I was not let down at all. Very positive about this project. It is not without its flaws. I think it can be a little long in the tooth at times. I feel like there were some ideas and themes and sonically things that were introduced through the project that maybe could have been condensed a little bit more and a couple songs kind of fused together, because there are some reoccurrences of themes and sounds throughout the project that can feel after a little while, you know, kind of running on and on. But I feel like overall he did a fantastic job putting this all together. The production's immaculate. The features are on point, and overall I don't think that there's a bad song on this project. Definitely something I could see myself revisiting, and I like kind of the diverse kind of stepping into and dabbling in different genres and kind of putting it together in a very artistic, cohesive way. There's not too many albums, I think, coming out of the Korean scene really pushing boundaries of genres like that on a mainstream level, so I can appreciate Kunst really, you know, pushing the boundaries, trying new things, and introducing people to various new sounds that you might not be hearing from this particular scene that often. So that's my overall thoughts on the project. Definitely thumbs up from me. Definitely go check it out if you haven't thus far. If you're a Korean R&B fan, there's lots in here for you. If you're a pop fan, there's definitely a lot of light pop sensibilities. Definitely laid back and feel. But if you're into a more laid back pop appeal vibe, this has definitely got stuff for you. And if you're a Korean hip-hop fan, there's tons of great features in here from, you know, C-Jam to Just This that you're gonna actually really like as well. So now I'm gonna get into the nitty-gritty song by song and give you guys my quick thoughts. Now just start with track 1. I got it pulled up here on my phone. The artistic intro. Thought it was a nice way to kind of, you know, get things going. Not too much to talk about here. Loved the vocal presentation. It was very low key, and it kind of sets you into the mood that the entire project is gonna you know, be in the entire vibe. It's super atmospheric and ethereal and echoey, a lot of reverb there on the vocals throughout this track. It's pretty short, it's only a little bit above a minute, but it definitely sets the stage for what you're getting in here. There's been a lot of projects that will come out kind of swinging. You get a really intense track from the rip, kind of like Run the Jewels does that, like with 2 and 3. But with this one, since this is a more laid back vibe out project, I like that this, you know, gets the expectations where they need to be. And then that brings us to the second track, Perfume, with Nuxall. Y'all know I'm a huge, big fan of Nuxall. Shout out to VMC, man. Definitely one of the more talented guys on the roster. Young dude, absolutely amazing spitter. And I liked hearing them on this particular instrumental just because he doesn't really rap over production like this that often. If you heard God of the Small Things, his previous record, it was primarily a lot of kind of like retro-sounding boom bap type beats. Which he sounds amazing on. He definitely has that vibe to it. But hearing him on something a little bit more flowy, a little bit more groovy was really, really dope. And I love that beat switch up on the latter half of the song. That was really, really dope. Introduced a little bit of guitar in there. Definitely got a little funkier, a little bit more soulful. And again, the vibes and the different tones introduced in this song reoccur multiple times throughout this project. So I thought that was an interesting introduction. Track 3, This Is, featuring C-Jam. I think this is alright track. Not necessarily too blown away away with it. Big fan of C-Jam. Not his best verse in my opinion, and the production at times, the way it melded with C-Jam left a little bit to be desired. But overall, I thought it was a great song in the context of the project. But as a standalone track looked at objectively by itself, it can come off as a little boring, a little, you know, expected, a little, you know, especially for somebody who listens to a lot of C-Jam and just music, or you're super familiar with Code Kunst style, especially once you've listened to this album and are revisiting it. This is definitely, in my opinion, one of the more skippable tracks. It's not a bad song. It's just not really introducing anything that necessarily keeps your attention throughout the entire thing. But I do like the chorus. It's catchy. This is how you do this. I like that vibe. C-Jam's a really talented dude. But overall, I mean, not too impressive of a record. But then it gets into the Firewater Interlude, and it's basically kind of just introducing kind of like a prelude to the next song, Firewater. Not too much to talk about it. But then we get to Firewater. G-Soul and Tablo spoke more in depth on my reaction to it, which over there I'll shoot you guys. Go check out that reaction if you haven't seen it thus far. And I talked a lot about the visuals. So as far as the audio goes, y'all know I'm a huge G-Soul fan. I'm glad to see you know how High Ground is kind of a subsidiary of what Tablo's doing with YG, so him working with G-Soul is really dope, because, you know, he's over there at JYP, seeing a kind of like cross-pollination of the pop scene, so that's really, really dope. I just think they have great chemistry together. G-Soul harmonizing over there. He has such a sweet, sultry voice. Mixes super well with this instrumental type. And then Tablo does what he does best. Have a very impassioned, concise, articulate verse on the latter half of the song. So this is definitely one of the songs I go to the most. Probably my second or third favorite on the album. Track 6, Stronger. We have Loco and Mino. Strong verses from them both. Probably would gravitate more towards a Loco's verse, but I thought they had amazing chemistry together. I feel like, again, hearing them on these types of instrumentals is super engaging and interesting. Code Kunst has a certain way about it where he introduces light piano and a very smooth guitar strumming away that really accentuates melody very well. And so artists that traditionally maybe don't have the most melody in their deliveries, like a Mino or a Loco, I feel like kind of inadvertently come off a little sing-songy, which is fantastic. Definitely, you know, introducing a bit of versatility to their repertoire. So absolutely love this song. Very strong showing from both of them. Then it goes into More Fire. Not super a whole bunch for me to talk about, and definitely it's kind of like the mid-range of the album. Definitely something that I can see myself revisiting to a couple times. Love the vocals on this, but nothing necessarily to blow away. And then that goes into Born from the Blue. You got Just This there in the feature. Love Just This's verses. Only thing I don't like about this track, not too big of a fan of the chorus. Comes off a little basic, I don't know, but Justice overall, big fan of his. His last album was fantastic. So loved his vocal delivery on this. Goes into song Cruise. You got Loopy, Punchnello, and Ugly Duck. Quite the collab here, man. Big fan of all three of these guys. Punchnello definitely been making some moves this past year or so. Ugly Duck, I've liked consistently everything he releases, whether it's his trap stuff or his more meaningful stuff. And then Loopy, shout out to all the guys over there at Make It Rain. Big fan of those guys. So hearing these three together, it was like super genius, the placement of these three. And I don't know who exactly arranged this particular track, but I think they just had they fit so perfectly together, even down to the intonation of their voices. It just, everything came together in a very concise, clean manner. So I really enjoyed that. And then it goes into track 10, X, featuring Lehigh. By far my favorite song on the album. Y'all know I'm a sucker for some R&B. I love Lehigh. She's an incredibly talented artist. Everything from the production to the melody is just super infectious, super warm and flowy. Almost like there's just a natural rhythm to this song that just is amazing. Lehigh just does such a fantastic job. It introduces a side of her music that we don't always get to see, especially from YG artists. So hearing her over this type of instrumental, something with not this crazy pop appeal, just straight classic R&B sensibilities. It's sexy, it's very mature sounding. She did a fantastic job. So again, my favorite song on the album. Then into song 11, Parachute, we have Ohyuk and Indoki. This song has been out for a minute now, and I think I've spoken lightly on it, but if I haven't and you want my thoughts on it, love Ohyuk, the soulful vocals on his end, man. Just straight like out of 60s, you know, blues and soul music, man. He just did a fantastic job on those vocals. And then Doki actually delivers one of his most engaging verses in a minute on this song, even though it's been out for a while now. Not the biggest Doki fan, you already know that. But I really enjoyed him on the context of this song. He came more mature with it. He was doing his thing, man. He snapped on it, had adjusted his energy, man. He adjusted that rolly talk. You know, he always be talking about watches and cars and shit like that. And he, you know, brought a little bit of more things, making it a little bit more contextual and relevant to the vibe of the project. So thought that was fantastic. 12. Beside me, we have BY, YDG, and Suran. Talked about this when I did the reaction to it. Again, go check that out. Religious undertones of this song. BY does a fantastic job. Love Suran's vocals on here. There's a moment where YDG is like quoting scripture and kind of repeats it a couple times. Basically referencing like, why are you judging people? Take the plank out of your eye, or something like that. I like that line, but then he repeats it a couple more times and it becomes a little awkward. That's like my only gripe with the song. It's always been like that since the first time I listened to it. Again, not a shot on any of the other people or even YDG verses or Code Kunst production. That particular moment though is a little weird. It breaks the immersion a little bit just because the amount of times he repeats it, and it almost feels a little basic at times. And it's like, all right, I got it. But yeah, love that song. Definitely the most emotionally resonant song on the album, even though if you're not a religious person, just that the simple passion on the deliveries is enough to move anybody. Then we have Lounge with Hwaji. Excited when I saw that Hwaji was on the track list. I was super hyped to check this out. Love this song, man. I feel like this would be one of the songs that are a little bit more slept on. Definite single potential on this particular track. Definitely one of the ones that I revisit the most alongside with X. Big fan of Hwaji. He does a fantastic job. Melded very well with this production. Track 14, White Anxiety. This is the outro. You got Cold from Off on Off, who I think is also signed to High Ground if I'm not mistaken. Dropped some music not too long ago. Was a big fan of that. Spoke the praises. Amazing vocals on this. In my opinion, this song would have fit earlier on the project too. Just having this at the end. The problem with it is there's so many similar themes going on in this album that by the time you get to track 14, 15, it could be like, oh man, what a long project. Even though it's not that long a project, it could just feel a little bit. Wish the song was a little longer. I just absolutely love this song. And then lastly, Don't Shoot Me Mama with Car the Garden. Love Car the Garden. Only heard them or him, I'm not sure if it's an individual or a group, via features. This was another amazing feature, amazing way to cap off the project. Love the counterbalance between straight like rap verses versus like the singing moments, and overall just very consistent production across the whole project. And this is definitely one of those projects you can put on, you could vibe out to, or you can listen to intently and really get something out of it. Definitely suggest you look up the lyric sheet and really break down. It covers a lot of topics here, from religion to romance to, you know, someone talking that talk, of course, on the rap verse. Just overall a very emotional album, and definitely one of the best projects of this year by far. So let me know, what are your thoughts on this album? What's your favorite song? What's your favorite feature? I would love to know what your thoughts are down below. Till next time, this is JV here. I love you guys. Bye.